What up YouTube, Editor BonzEye here with a few disclaimers before getting into the video. So yeah, this is going to be the third and final part of my buddy Allan's reaction to Warrior Tears, the history of the entire Warhammer 40k universe as told by Trazyn the Infinite. So yeah, this is part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, you can click the links in the description down below or click the link up top which will take you back to part 1. So in this video, Allan will get to see the last third of the video, and then after that we're going to have a very long, lengthy discussion about everything that he had seen in this and throughout the entire video as a whole. So yeah, as you can see, the description part of this video is going to be a very long one, and this is kind of the reason why I decided to split the video up into 3 parts, because this discussion was so long. Anyway, with those disclaimers out of the way, let's get right into the video.
Now.
The Emperor of Mankind began his plans for domination. He began work on creating the gene seeds that would lead to the formation of his 20 sons, or as they are more commonly referred to, Primarchs.
Primarchs.
Imperial record fails to state exactly how this event occurred. It only states the Primarch embryos were scattered throughout the galaxy. All blame is laid at the feet of the Chaos Gods for this deed. But who can really say? The Emperor set out on his quest to find the missing Primarchs.
Oh.
My sleep was suddenly over. Myself and other High Lords awakened from our slumber. My initial excitement evaporated as the realization of how much time had passed. I had to continue my work. It was my duty to my dynasty to store the relics of our past. Even that miserable little pile of secrets Urakin was awakened. However, this was not our time to reclaim our galaxy. What a time to be awake, to witness this short era of grandeur. This story of this era contains artifacts that are amongst my favorites in all of my museum. The warp storms that plagued mankind for over 5,000 years drifted away. The Emperor of Mankind was known as the greatest psyker in history. He united the people under his rule during the Unification Wars. He made a pact with the cult Mechanicus on Mars. He expanded the human empire while discovering his wayward sons. The blood that was spilled was that of legend. The humans had set to take hold of the galaxy, swallowing everything in their path. Unity was always their strength, yet they denied it every chance they could. The Emperor was the key to their survival. He colored his legions and sent his sons to fight his wars. I witnessed such glorious battles during this period. So much occurred during these times. So much to record, to document, to preserve. The artifacts from this era are amongst some of my favorites. The Primarchs had been found and sent on their various quests for the Emperor. The Great Crusade had come to an end. Humanity had become the dominant life in the universe.
Whoa!
Imperial history recording events during these times had been subverted. So much has been altered to appease the masses, to appease the Inquisition and the religious maniacs. What is known as fact is the Emperor's favorite son, Horus, had betrayed the Emperor.
Whoa.
He and half of his brothers rebelled against the Imperium, and I was there to see it play out. The Battle of Istvan III was where the treachery transpired, with blade and firearm. To see the armored warriors battle, brother against brother, it was as beautiful as it was tragic.
Oh, shut up. It's too well written.
I remember being impressed by the humans. My theory of their hatred of peace was proven once again. How they loved to fight. The eternal war had begun. Above Terra, another civil war had already begun brewing. The Mechanicum split into 2. The Red Robes believe in a being they named the Omnisire. Many believe the Emperor was not the true avatar of the machine god. Many believe that the Emperor is, in fact, the Omnisire made flesh. An epic battle took place above what the humans had once called the Earth. The traitor sons of the Emperor invaded the human homeworld. They had come to kill the Emperor and take control of the Imperium. This was a staggering battle for beings such as humans. The final battle occurred between Horus and the Emperor after millions were killed by their blood brothers. The final blows were landed by the Emperor and his favorite son Horus. A clash that left the Emperor fatally wounded. It is a shame what happened. The Emperor slew Horus, who, in fairness, had it coming. Much to my annoyance, those loyal to Horus managed to steal his remains away. How I wished to have Horus's armor in my collection. I have spent many centuries harvesting rumors of the remains of the arch-traitor. The fatally wounded Emperor was interred in the Golden Throne, a technological marvel from humanity's old world. Technology the Mechanicus hardly understood. This was the end of the human reign of superiority. It had come to a glorious finale. The fact that I'm reasonably confident that the Golden Throne is our technology is not important. The times following the Horus heresy were boring in comparison. Humans fell back once again into predictability. It was black or white from then on. The Loyalists gradually reclaimed the Imperium, pushing the traitor forces that aligned with the Chaos Gods back into the warp. The 9 Loyalist Space Marine legions are divided and began their own quests throughout the galaxy. The humans desperately wanted their place at the top. As they struggled, other races grew in strength across the galaxy. The Drukhari had formed back when Slaanesh the Depraved was birthed. They saw the event as inevitable and accepted their evolutionary destiny. They are a brutal race, arrogant, hedonist, and vile for the sake of nefariousness. There were none in the galaxy who rivaled their cruelty. A slave in the city of Komorra named Vect swore to be the ruler of the Dark City. He was ambitious and founded his own group known as the Cult of the Black Heart. With a devious plan, he betrayed the leaders of Komorra and had the humans kill his enemies. With the leaders weakened, Vect took power and led the Dark Eldar. What he led them towards is unknown. These beasts created nothing, they offered nothing. They reveled in suffering just as the Catan did. They are beneath our regard, but have earned our disgust. The Orcs attempted to claim their position at the top of the evolutionary chain. The ancient race had swelled in numbers over the millennia. An Orc war boss known as the Beast built an impressive army that rampaged the universe. It was during this time that the Greenskins became a threat to all. I find them to be similar in some ways to the humans.
I was gonna say that. The Orcs and humans are not so different.
With power, obsessed with what both races call loot.
Loot.
Loot. What a crude word.
What a crude
Both believe their technology to be superior to all.
What a crude word.
Another life form that idolizes the spirit of war, the Astartes, were able to stop the Green Wave, at great costs, however.
Bro, stop the Green Wave? Shut up.
A new species emerged from the dust of the cosmos. The Flesh Robotics first discovered the Tau on a distant world. The Adeptus Mechanicus ship, Land's Vision, found the primitive species. The blue creatures were simple in nature, having only learned to use simple tools and fire. Simple creatures that were of no threat, but still, their elimination was ordered as they were to be destroyed for the good of the Imperium. Before the planet could be annihilated, it was surrounded by a violent warp storm. The wars soon to take place changed the fate of their world. The Imperium abandoned their plans for colonization and left the species to their fate. I am sure the Imperium uses this story to drive their agendas. The Tau were able to unite under one banner. They claimed to stand for the cause of the greater good, a seemingly effective form of governance. As the centuries passed, the Tau built their empire, diving into different castes. You may encounter them. They will speak of all these castes, bar one, the Ethereals. These ruling beings are conveniently forgotten about in the Tau propaganda. These faceless elites are the true ruling class of the Tau. The Fire Caste are the fist used to quell rebellion. The Earth Caste show off their medical capabilities to lowly serfs. The Air Caste blockade worlds and offer free transports. And of course, the Water Caste, those silver-tongued diplomats. They promise so much to anyone with the oral receptors to hear. These upstart fledgling fools must learn to tread carefully. They do not have the ability to confront the Imperium that they berate. Only Father Time will tell whether these masters of masquerade will live or die. Another rise in power for the awful orcs. Centuries of crusading had weakened the Imperium. Humanity teetered on the verge of collapse. The orc invasions were relentless. Even worse, the more the orcs suffered, the more they grew. Countless star systems fell to the green wave. It is their chaotic nature that holds them back from remaining atop their evolutionary chain. A culture predicated on the desire to be bigger and stronger than the rest can only go so far without true governance. Even with their simplicity, the damage they caused almost destroyed the humans.
Man.
It was not our time to rise. Our armies were set to awake at a later date. However, our tomb worlds were invaded by the Adeptus Mechanicus on their quest to find the lost standard template constructs. They discovered our tomb worlds.
Nosy
Their
bastards.
curiosity and their degradation of the slumber protocols led to countless members of our race awakening. 65 million years of slumber. It was our time to rule the galaxy once more, to reclaim what we had died for. Our metallic bodies regenerated. Our weaponry was to mortals what the storm was to the stone. More of our tombs were awakened. Our armies began their conquest. The Silent King took back his rightful seat on the throne.
I love that
It is
title,
our
The
time
Silent King.
once again.
It's brilliant.
How the humans love to hold their martyrs up for all to see. No single world is a greater martyr than Cadia. In truth, I had believed the Terran method of time recording, BC, stood for before Cadia. They speak of this planet so often during battle.
Cadia.
It was a world of much importance to the Imperium.
Why?
To be frank, the
The
galaxy.
galaxy.
The fall of Cadia is a loss. It was a weapon designed to remove the warp from our reality.
Damn.
Its loss must be lamented. During the 13th Black Crusade, the War Master of Chaos, Abaddon the Despoiler, launched a massive assault against the Loyalists. A unfathomable war broke out, and the planet was eventually destroyed.
Abaddon,
It was
such a cool name.
significant loss for the Imperium, losing such a beautiful world to their own traitorous kind. One of the greater threats faced by the mortal races of the galaxy are the beings we labeled the Great Devourers, the Tyranids. The humans
Tyranids.
named them the Tyranids after their attack and consumption of Tyrant Primus. Revolting insectoid creatures that swallow world after world, consuming everything that stands in their path.
Cosmic
All life is
virus.
consumed by these creatures, consumed, studied, and improved on. Though they appear as mindless animals, they are sublimely clever beings. They have demonstrable hierarchies. They adapt and evolve in the moment to conquer any situation. Little is known of their history. There are no records of them before the Great Sleep. They appeared from the deepest reaches of space. The humans first discovered the creatures in the eastern fringes. Rumor has been said that they were first seen by the Inquisition as far back as the 35th millennium. Speculation and rumors, of course, but I still enjoy this discord. It is said that they have begun to surround our galaxy, ready to unleash their own conquest, after being drawn by the Emperor's light within the void. I cannot say if this is true or not. Others believe they are being pushed back, chased into our regions of space. All of this poses a great question. Are these beasts coming to this galaxy after having consumed everything they could in their own? Or, and this is not the ideal case, are they running from something greater?
What?
If they continue their rude interruption of the drama that is the galaxy's unfolding history, I may have to add a new section to the gallery. Perhaps I will name it A Brief History of the Tyrannid Species. The universe is at unrest. The rapidly growing threats to the galaxies have increased as the weak find power. All of us are grasping for our rightful place on the throne of the universe. All empires rise and fall. It is the destiny of all life to fade away. Life is a struggle for all who have fought to survive. Even the smallest of life forms face this turmoil. The weak become dust in the infinite darkness, never to be remembered. To rank which species stand at the top would be irrelevant in the current turmoil. They all cling to their spot, each battle and war gaining favor, or falling to the side to rise again. The great empires of the past have all earned their place in my halls. They each have a place in the history of the galaxy. The future of the universe will continue. Others will try to gain their spot, as did all the great empires of the past. It is a pitiful attempt. All life will wither and die. There is only one race that will succeed them all. We are immortal. We have learned from our mistake. We will rule our galaxy once again. But humanity, in its rapidly breeding expansion, has offered us what we never thought possible. A means to return to the flesh times. We are the infinite.
Epic. Bro. That music and everything, bro. That,
Okay, guys, so we just got done from watching the video now, and me and Al are just gonna like go over like everything from the video, and then like just sort of Al's just gonna give his thoughts of it. So, in general thought on the video as a whole, how do you feel about it?
I reckon it's a well put together video. I enjoyed the sound, the soundtrack, the narration, the visuals, coordinated well in the storytelling of it, music and everything. It was almost, I mean, 40 minutes. It was like a short film. Yeah.
Short film, yeah.
It was well put together.
Okay, so let's just go over this last section that we went through now. So we talked about the Emperor, the rising of the Empire, and the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the way it was covered here? Like, you've kind of known this story before, but then like,
Yes.
any standout moments in the video for you?
We did. Was there any races? I believe we went through all the races. Like there was mentioned.
Yeah,
all the other races. Yeah.
Apart from the humans, I was gonna get into that. Any other standout moments from those other races? Like, how do you feel about the way they were covered? The orcs were one.
Yeah. You mentioned the Eldar, and the Dark Eldars, and the Tau, and what do you call those? The space virus.
Oh, the Tyranids.
Tyranids. Yeah, the Tyranids. Tyranids this time around like really piqued my interest a bit, because he mentioned that they were also like, they were not just like mindless gluttons like just consuming things. They evolved, they adapted, like, you know, and evolved with this new technology and information, or the worlds that they conquered. They took some part of it, and you know, and there is hierarchy and like coordination among the Tyranids, which, as we're talking about like biological life forms, right? Glorified fish, right? And I think he what's his name? The Infinite. Trazyn mentioned that humans gave him a bit of hope about returning to flesh, or like organic based life. And I feel like the Tyranids are an exaggeration of that. You know, like they are huge biological organisms that it's like there's extremes, right? You have the humans kind of balanced somewhere in the middle beside the Tau and the Eldar and orcs. They're all grouped in this, and then you have like extremes where there's like machine, non-flesh things and gods and world eaters and all that, and then you have like virus, bacteria, biological sort of Tyranids. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I believe if there's anybody to, if there's any race that would discover the secrets of how to traverse consciously and sort of manipulate their form or transmit their consciousness between this, like the completely metal, flesh is weak side of the spectrum to flesh is all biological, you know, psycho, all that. It would be the Necron.
Yeah.
Because they were flesh and they became metal. So if they are able to go back to be like have a maybe like
biology,
part of their like evolve
mix,
a brand,
Ooh, yeah, that's an interesting.
Because if there's anyone who could do that, I reckon it'd be the Necron.
That'd be even better too. So it's not just pure metal, but also like living metal.
Yeah. That'd be too powerful, bro. That's crazy.
Ludicrous. Yeah. That's a cool little side thing that you mentioned there.
Yeah.
I could imagine that. All right.
So they could literally have like, just like how the Iron Hands, they create metal machines and demons.
Whereas
the Necrons literally create like Psychers and control them. But these Psychers are Necrons, flesh based. But they're with the Necron consciousness or with the Necron control.
Yeah, because
that'd be too powerful, bro. They would literally like factory make like emperors of even close to factory make Primarchs. Like they would like print out Primarchs on a large
3D print Primarchs.
3D print
them out.
Yeah,
3D print Primarchs.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. Any other like standout moments from the video in general?
So I think so. All these life forms like the Tau and the Eldari and all this were seeded by those first guys.
I'm not sure about the Tau, but definitely the humans were seeded by.
Okay.
The Eldari and orcs were straight up created. Like not just seeded, but all the way up. Then the humans, you could say that maybe not necessarily humans, but like baseline primate form was seeded by them.
Okay.
But specificities of what that went on to become, we don't.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed that whole, video, the part about the humans expanding and traveling. They didn't mention he stopped where I believe the previous video we watched mentioned something about the chair, the throne, and the emperor being like kept alive so that he could be a warp, something to do with the warp, like a guide to the warp, a key.
He sort of he was more like worried about the broader scale. That did happen in here, but I don't know if it was mentioned or not, but if it was glossed over, it's because it's not necessarily, he doesn't care about necessarily.
Okay.
Like, he just talked about like the big important things. So that aspect about how humans navigate, that's significant to humans are. The Necrons don't even use the warp to travel. They use a completely different thread. We have no idea.
They use the webway?
No, not even the webway. Something completely different. Even the webway is like a pocket dimension of the warp. It's like separate from the main part of the warp. Created by the old ones, but then it's in use now adapted by and used by the Eldar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the Necrons have their own means of warp.
We don't even know. It's not even warp related, most likely, because the Necrons their machines, they don't access the warp.
I thought it interesting that he mentioned that the throne that the Emperor sits upon is their technology. Is Necron technology.
Yes.
Which he said, I thought it he passed it off as like a comment. Yet I found it interesting that he even mentioned that.
Yeah, it's like for the most part humans think that the Emperor built it and everything, but then there are some unknowns about it because like the Emperor himself doesn't fully understand how it works and the mechanicals can't replicate it, whatever. So there's like it's like a rumor that is most probably true. I'm not sure if Trazyn himself knows it that to be a fact, but that's like a statement that it makes sense that it's like something beyond human capabilities. Yeah. The throne mechanism.
I love the idea of orcs, like green wave. You know, that is a visual. Like I can like imagine like a green wave, and how we mentioned that the Astartes stood against, like they could stand, and that's saying something because orcs are bred for violence and like to beat them at their own game. That's
that's how this could head to like
that's crazy, bro. And that's not all the factions, right? That's only the factions that did not
which one
become chaos. Because the Green Wave happened after
that's right,
after the Horus Heresy.
Yes.
So these were only like the half, so like 10 or say 8.
Yeah, like less. Not even all of the 8. What I meant, it was more like 5 or something. I don't know the specifics.
Just less than half the factions of the Astartes could hold back like that's like that's why the Imperium exists. That's why they are forced to be reckoned with. Because it's Astartes sheer military might. That's incredible.
And but to the Quarks point, there was only like 5 Quarks did all that. So 5 Quarks or semi-Quarks, maybe not even full Quarks, happened to come into existence for one reason or another. And because of that small number of those 5 Quarks, they coordinated the orcs and caused all that problems. So if there were way more Quarks, if there were like 100 Quarks, humanity Quarks, the original form of the orcs. So just 5 of them coming into existence caused all that. But not 5, but a certain number, less than 10. Actually. Just a small number of handful came into existence and then caused all those problems. If there were more of them, humanity would have probably been wiped out. Because it was just those 5 guys of that small number that were coordinating. I don't know why I keep saying 5. Don't beat me with that. I'm just it's just a number that's coming down.
Handful.
Just a handful of Quarks caused all those chaoses. If they were made more Quarks, even the Astartes probably wouldn't have succeeded against them. So but that's true. The Astartes being able to hold them off was like
that's a testament to
them.
And even like the similar thing could be said for like the Emperor, because he was born out of like there was effort put into like there were these
the
shamans, you know, and they put in effort over some time, and then when they died, they went into the other world and then created the soul of the Emperor and had it manifest. If there was just one Emperor, if there were like a couple Emperors, say even 3 or 4, that's insane, bro. The amount of that's like the Quark being the final form of the Orc, and having 5 of them versus the Emperor, say, being...
Oh no, the Emperor is like a very unique being. He's definitely above.
He's single way, like, he's on the level of, say, friggin' the old ones, right? Or even beyond.
He's at least as powerful as an old one. He's at least.
Because he just,
That's in terms of raw power, but like intelligence and stuff, I'm sure the old ones would have even him beat.
I reckon, because they lived longer. But I reckon that the Emperor sort of walked into that. The Emperor allowed the Horus Heresy to happen. Just because, like, being as all-powerful as he was, like as strong as he was, he could have easily squashed it. But there was a part of him that could not destroy that which he created himself, you know. It would be like destroying a part of him. And
there's a lot of
that would have been conflicted. Like if he was an ultimate, like if he was practical about it, he would have just squashed it, you know. Because guy could mysteriously defeat
the dragon.
The dragon without like methods unknown, right? Bro, you're talking about like your son, right? Your favorite son. So I think the only reason that he suffered and all these losses was only because of his own sort of pride about the whole thing. That he's like, oh, this is, like something that he was attached to. That the longer he held on, he knew, he was going to eventually have to kill Horus. He delayed that, and the longer he delayed, all those happened, and then like that certain scenario played out. He could have easily chosen a scenario where he squashed everything, and then he just continued with the Empire. But because, and I think it's the important bit of Horus being his favorite son, because it was orchestrated by his favorite son. This is like he put in effort, just like the mages or the, what do you call them? Shaman. Just like the shaman, put in effort and will and soul to make him happen. He also put in effort, will, and soul to make his sons happen, like Primarchs happen. And then they were scattered, and he had to go and collect them again. And then as things were going, he the work that he had put in, he couldn't just like cut it off. And I think that's a human thing, I reckon, about him. Not so practical in that, like example, the Catan, how they just got this Necrons. They got the flesh Necrons, they stripped them of all flesh and made them mechanical as a practical means to defeat the old ones, right? Because flesh would perish. Likewise, if the Emperor taught like that, he would have squashed it all, in an instant. He would have taken the practical route, which would have been like a sort of a. He wouldn't have seemed benevolent or
something
sort of like
hardcore is what the Catan is.
The Catan was just like ruthless, bro.
They're pretty cool.
That's respect to the Catan, and I appreciate the kind of Egyptian robotic
of the Necron.
Yeah, the Necron, the design, bro. That shit, like, that's hard.
That's awesome.
Like I don't know if they have shirts or like have you seen?
Oh yeah,
merch?
Of course. Dude,
merch.
Are you kidding me? There's so much merch. There's tons of merch. You could get like anything from.
Probably have just not been looking. I reckon all these stories give sort of context. Now, like there's this thing that I believe that there is no such thing as fiction, right? These are just these worlds and how do I say this? Like these universes created within the Warhammer. These are just stages on which to project certain reflections of the human experience. Like the to reflect on certain aspects of the human condition, and like how we just went through with the Emperor of Man, and how all these seemingly exaggerated creatures, yet you find an element that you can sort of resonate. You understand. Yeah, they're not alien in the sense that I don't get it. Like it's a different culture. No, it's the human culture.
Just to add a bit to that, most of the books and novels that are set in the Warhammer 40k universe are kind of, like the novels especially, are more or less like a genre but with a Warhammer paint on it. So it's like you have spy thrillers but in the Warhammer paint on it. You have like a war movie Band of Brothers type but with a Warhammer paint on it. Or you have like an alien sci-fi like Ridley Scott, the Alien franchise, but starring the Tyranids instead with a Warhammer. So it's like Warhammer universe is like such a big universe to the point where you can tell a lot of different stories. Just put a Warhammer paint on it.
It's almost like a language, a language to facilitate higher order abstract thinking. It's like calculus. You can like calculus essentially, like I see it as like a language in which you can through numbers describe the real world waves and patterns and real life application. Yet it's a language that has certain rules and a lore about it, so to speak. So like Warhammer allows that to happen for people to imagine or create scenarios. Like someone might see this and be inspired by a certain story arc, and then be like choose to orchestrate similar things in the world, whether it's like in their own lives or in like the workplace or any scale, bro. It's like, it's awesome that it disguises, it masks itself as fictional entertainment, yet I would argue that it is as important, if not more, than non-fictional content. Because non-fictional content is sort of like sometimes it's not always entertaining. You know, there are some people who are entertained by the numbers. They love the numbers, math, and all this. So they're allowed to go deep into that lore or science, and they go deep into that lore. Like likewise for the Warhammer universe, someone could really love it so much that they just get into everything, and then it allows for them to create in the language of Warhammer, yet there is a real world story application and story for it. So I think it's, yeah,
that's the importance of storytelling.
Yeah, bro. It's like I said, fucking A1.
Yeah, all right, awesome.
The Tau, like, it's a sort of standout in that it didn't really stand out. Like I wasn't too excited about it. Like, oh, but yeah, it's like we're
underdogs.
Yeah, they sort of like rebel against the Imperium, right? Or
they don't want
that big, like, you know, big bad guy they're fighting.
But more or less the Imperium, like they are the complete underdogs. It's like if the Imperium like put all its forces together, they could wipe out the Tau, but the Tau are resilient enough to the point where it would mean they'd have to take away certain considerable powers. They become vulnerable more or less. Like if the Imperium decide to focus on the Tau, they could wipe it out technically, but then they'd be vulnerable to the other Chaos Marines or the Tyrannians or something. So the Tau are just powerful enough that the Empire can't just like wipe them out with a school. They have bigger threats right now to deal with, like the Tyrannians and the Chaos guys. So they're just like, okay, well, you're not necessarily pure evil, so we're just gonna leave you out there and tolerate your existence.
I reckon the Tau, like this is just a thought that came. I reckon the Tau should pull a Necron and become like slaves to the to the Necrons.
Oh, to the Necrons?
Yeah. So because the Necrons became slaves to the Catan, and then that slavery helped to kind of evolve them.
True.
So if they were to get into their next phase of, you know, power and revolution, just, you know, be like, hey, can we be your slaves for a while? And you can study us and figure how to, you know,
do whatever.
Go back to flesh-based. You know, we could figure something out.
But yeah. I mean, the Tau are like, they're not everybody's favorite, but there's some people out there who really like underdog story, and that's more or less why the Tau exists. Like they feel that niche within the universe. I would say.
At first, it was the human, the primates that were the underdog, the, you know, small bro.
Yeah.
But now that they've gotten,
they actually became very dominant. And then they had a fall. And then they had another rise again with the Emperor, but then they had a fall again. So now it's like, you can't say that. Like humanity has had 2 rises, 2 peaks, and 2 falls. So they're more or less like one of the old guard now. They're not just like came and went. They came and went and then came back again and went again.
They had a comeback. They did it twice just to prove the first time wasn't a fluke.
So there you go.
They're like, I first, like, in my mind, I was like the way that they're describing this, like as the story is playing out, the humans are no different from the orcs. They're literally like, I would think that the same basic code, right? That'd be like a seed code, and then it would branch out into its different variants, right? I reckon that the humans and the Eldar and the Krogs, the humans, the Eldars, and the Krogs all come from the same base seed material, I'd reckon, because I mean humans can be psychers as the Eldar are, and they just have this bloodthirsty thing like the corpse.
Which is no surprise then, considering that technically the old ones seeded life on Earth. So in a way, that's like you're confirming the evidence.
And there's that primate, like the even their own, the structure of their bodies and whatnot. You know, it's not too different from the Eldari, and it's not too different from the orcs. Orcs, you know. So there, but then then that brings to question like the Tau, like, you know.
They have some like the nose thing, their fingers being different, and they're way more like willing to submit and form the caste system and stuff like that. Whereas like even Eldar and I mean orcs do kind of have the caste system, but it's according to strength, right? It's not really, and anyone can actually become the boss as long as they fight and grow over time and become the boss. Whereas the Tau actually segregated themselves to the point where they've like started to diverge.
Okay. Question about what happened to the old gods again? The ones who seeded?
Completely wiped out by the combined might of the what they call it, the Khan and the Necrons. And then like as they were on the verge of being completely wiped out, that's when the Necrons rebelled. So that kind of one. But it's likely that some may have survived, but then over time they like that was 60 million years ago. So it's unlikely that any are alive now.
Well, but I asked because a thought came in my head, like the Tau, right? Origins unknown, not really, like possibly seeded by the old gods,
possibly.
Yet, like when I think about it, I reckon like there is a possibility that it is a remnant, like the old gods. They all got destroyed, and like just a sliver of that entire civilization somehow survived on the Tau whole world, and that could be why the warp, you know, sort of
protected,
conveniently, you know, came to stave off that the Imperium from
wiping them out.
Because they're such old deities, you know. It's like they're reborn again, you know, like empire rise, reach the heights, blah blah, become gods, and then you die and you start again from the bottom. That sort of thing, you know.
That's your
the old
why they got protected.
The Tau, I'm just saying, like there's a thought that comes to mind that the Tau could be the reborn old gods, and being underdogs, and you know, just we don't have to pay any attention there. We can squash them anytime. Like that's the sweet spot to be in, you know. You're a threat, but you're not a huge threat, yet you can quietly be threatening and menacing and once they come into their own, because they're reptilian-like, right?
No, actually, I don't know how
they look at the design. They remind me of a predator.
Actually, I can't say myself.
Because I think, I saw the.
I don't think I've ever heard them explicitly being described as reptilian. So.
Yeah.
Oh
no, they've no.
Okay. Amphibious actually.
They have amphibious. That's the word. Wrong word. Amphibious. They look a bit like Thanos, right? But like almost similar to the Eldari, but not quite. Yeah.
Well, Eldari nice. Oh.
Are the Eldari immortal?
They can die. Some of them, really powerful ones, can extend their life, but no, they're not immortal. They probably were during their healing. But too easy. All right. I think with that, thank you very much, Al, for joining this. Thanks for having me to do a video like this with you. And this is gonna be the last Warhammer video for this year. But definitely gonna plan on do some more Warhammer stuff. And maybe next year around the same time, if there's some more bring it out for another video. So subscribe to the channel. We're looking forward to more content like this. But I also have like other content on my channel. I actually talk about AI or my country property needs. But any of that interests you, you can subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video. But for now, here, this is BonzEye signing out. Catch you all later.